I'm sitting here with Mr. Declan Ganley of the Irish organisation Libertas, which is fighting for a no in the Irish referendum on the Lisbon Treaty. And Mr. Ganley, I'm very interested in hearing why an entrepreneur like you all of a sudden decided to get involved. Your organisation is fighting for a no to the Lisbon Treaty. And I want to find out what made you suddenly decide to put your own time and money and at least of all your image at stake on this issue.
Libertas was set up as a think tank originally to look at the challenge of how we bring more democracy, accountability and transparency into Europe. The members of Libertas are very enthusiastic Europeans. We are pro-Europe. We believe that the European Union has been good for Europe and good for Ireland, for my own country, indeed good for every member state of the European Union. The challenge that we have seen is what has come out of the process of this European Constitution, which has failed to meet its objective, which was the Laeken Declaration, which was to bring Europe closer to her citizens, which is a manifestly good idea. In the case of Ireland, and indeed I would say the case for every member state of Europe, the European Union has, even the most begrudging observer would have to say, it's been the most successful peace process in the history of the world, but it's been much more than that. It has helped to ensure and underpin prosperity, commerce, the exchange of ideas, and much more. It has helped define something of a European vision, common trading area, and so many other things. And this success is worth preserving, and it's worth ensuring that it continues. So we now have a situation, a paradox, where in many member states of the European Union, certainly in all member states of the European Union, more than half, in some cases it's 70, 80, 85% of new laws come from Brussels. And they're ratified by national parliaments with very little debate or any consideration. In Ireland, in I think it was 2006 or 2007, there were over 400 laws that came from Brussels, and the average amount of time that each one of them was considered for was 26 seconds. This is a rubber stamping exercise. The Lisbon Treaty, which is really just the Constitution repackaged, and indeed Europe's leaders admit that, it's sinister. And it's sinister because it masquerades as something that it is not. The original drafter of the document, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, said, "People will be led, without knowing it, to adopt the policies we would never dare present to them directly." It's an extremely arrogant statement. And what does it mean? So you are required, and this is something that I did, to read the thing. And it's painful. It's a painful exercise to read through the Lisbon Treaty. And not all of it's bad. There's good stuff in there. There's cream and strawberries all over the thing. But at the heart of the Lisbon Treaty is the removal of democratic accountability from the people, a rift between the people and those that make our laws and that rule them. A huge step backwards in the process of European history that has got us to where we are. It is unwise in the extreme to disconnect decision makers, legislators and lawmakers from the people over whom they rule. They make laws. In this treaty, we're going to get a president of Europe, we're going to get a foreign minister, a high representative for foreign and security affairs, we're going to have a global diplomatic corps, we're going to have an individual, and you don't know who that's going to be, and I don't know who it's going to be, and neither does anybody else in Europe know who that's going to be. And you know what? It doesn't matter what you think, and it will never matter what you think, because you're never going to have the ability to vote that person in or vote that person out. And yet, that person is going to stride the global stage speaking for us. They will have a mouth, but no ears. They won't be listening to the people of Europe. They will be listening to a very small elite who indeed they're barely answerable to them. It's an astonishing backward step. And for anybody that's enthusiastic about Europe, what is Europe? Is it a bunch of mountains and some beaches and cities?
The issue of
it's almost 500 million people. That's what Europe is. Europe belongs to us. It doesn't belong to a small clique in Brussels. It belongs to all of us.